of July celebrations and potentially people traveling back home.
We know this year was a record-setting travel year. ABC Rena Roy tells us what areas this weather is affecting the most.
As millions coast to coast celebrate July 4th, many also facing extreme weather conditions. High winds and heavy rain pummeling Chester, New York. Drivers in Virginia Beach dealing with wet weather on the roads. In Conway, North Carolina, small hail hitting the area.
Holy mess!
In Tennessee, power lines and trees ripped down. Severe storms also impacting the Midwest. In Chicago, homes and businesses swamped with pools of water and thousands left without power.
Well, it looks around like 10 to 12 feet right now of water. Just in the basement alone.
I just saw it was flooded up to the stairs.
And further north and west, the heat is on.
The sun really is a killer out here, you know?
Temperatures soaring to the triple digits in parts of the Southwest. 36 million Americans now under heat alerts from Washington to Florida.
And severe storms are likely again as the storm system moves through the south and east, with millions of people preparing to head home tomorrow after the long weekend. The FAA expecting nearly 50,000 flights across the country. That's 20,000 more than today. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
All right, well, back here at home, Tiff, you did a great story in shirts this morning on the parade over there. How was it?
Hot, but fun. It was fun. This cloud actually helped because you're spending a lot of time outdoors today.
Yeah, I'm still going to be a dad here, though. Don't forget to wear your sunscreen.
Oh, drink water.
With the clouds, you still get the sunburn. And yeah, drink plenty of water. It's still hot out there. It's just not blazing hot. And with the sun not directly shining through, it just feels a little bit better. Let me show you the radar, what we have going on right now. Some showers and storms still trying to develop there closer to the coast around Victoria. These aren't having a whole lot of success working up towards San Antonio area, and I doubt that we'll get much here, but we'll keep an eye on the radar. Cuero to Kennedy down to Beeville, that's a corridor where there could be some pop-up showers here for the next couple of hours. And as we get into the evening hours, you can't rule out a stray storm here around San Antonio either. All that cloud cover, there it is, quite widespread from Carrizo Springs to Hondo over to San Antonio. Seen some mid-level clouds work through here and even some low clouds in spots. And so temperatures not jumping up into the 90s just yet in many spots. 88 Gonzales, 88 New Braunfels, 85 Kerrville, 85 Hondo, 88 in Carrizo Springs. And here around Bexar County, we're sitting close to 90. We'll jump into the 90s here soon, but I think we probably top out somewhere in the mid-90s this afternoon versus, say, triple digits. 96 is what we're shooting for. There is that 10% chance of rain that continues right on into this evening. Chances are, though, all of our festivities will be just fine, and then temperatures dip into the 80s tonight. We do have another chance for rain coming up tomorrow. We'll detail that for you here in just a bit.
Thanks, Justin.
All right, Ukrainian President Zelensky saying his country's still focused on breaking free of Russia's invasion.
CNN's John Lawrence reports that Zelensky has another request for the White House.
More than a year after the Kremlin invaded Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky says his country is not backing down to Russian President Vladimir Putin.
We cannot imagine Ukraine without Crimea. And while Crimea is under the Russian occupation, it means only one thing: war is not over yet.
In an exclusive interview with CNN's Aaron Burnett, Zelensky expressed thanks to the Biden administration and both parties in Congress for their assistance during the war thus far.
Without the U.S.'s help, it will become a frozen conflict. With the U.S.'s help, we will deoccupy our territory. Deoccupation of any next town is weakening Putin. We don't have to be scared of that.
He's also calling for President Joe Biden to invite Ukraine into NATO now.
The majority of the NATO countries support inviting Ukraine to NATO. Those who have their doubts look only at President Biden, and he knows that this depends on him. It will be his decision.
Meanwhile, Moscow has deployed more than 180,000 troops to two major eastern battlefronts, according to a Ukrainian military spokesperson. And on Monday, Russia's defense minister thanked Russian armed forces for stopping a recent 24-hour rebellion against the Kremlin.
These plans failed primarily because the personnel of the armed forces showed loyalty to their oath and military duty.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
A new documentary on PBS, Below the Belt, is shining a light on a crisis facing 1 in 9 women in America, endometriosis. It's a disease in which tissue similar to the lining of the uterus grows outside the uterus. And although more than 190 million women globally suffer from this, it often goes undiagnosed.
Endometriosis many times is underdiagnosed because it really has a lot of symptoms that can be seen with bowel issues, bladder issues, or even just period issues. It really is a surgical diagnosis because you need tissue to actually, quantify that this is endometriosis.
It can affect the quality of life due to severe pain, fatigue, depression, anxiety, and infertility. The filmmaker behind the movie hopes to give a voice to the millions of women in crisis.
Well, a new report shows people in the South and Midwest are more likely to smoke and smoke more than the rest of the United States. The report, published last week by the anti-tobacco nonprofit called Truth Initiative, data shows the South and Midwest have about 21% of the U.S.'s population, but 28% of the nation's smokers. The number of smokers is about 50% higher than the rest of the United States. The report also found that these regions smoke in greater amounts. An average smoker in the South and Midwest, they go through about 53 packs of cigarettes a year compared to the average 29 packs for the other parts of the U.S.
Cars today are safer than ever before, but for pedestrians, vehicles haven't been this dangerous in over a generation. A study by the state highway safety offices says American drivers killed at least 7,500 pedestrians last year. That's the most of any year since 1981. Experts say faster driving speeds, a lack of pedestrian-friendly roads, and an increase in high-riding trucks are some of the reasons for the rise in deaths. And just between 2010 and 2021 alone, pedestrian deaths rose by 77%.
We now turn to the gun violence erupting across the United States. More and more concerns about safety through the 4th of July.
ABC's Faith Abube explains what unfolded overnight.
Multiple shots fired.
Overnight, chaos at a 4th of July celebration in Philadelphia as gunfire sent people running for their lives. Officers finding multiple people shot, at least 5 of them killed. Investigators say as the responding officers were helping the victims into patrol cars, they heard more gunfire. The officers running towards the suspect, who reportedly was wearing a mask, a bulletproof vest, and had a police radio.
So when we took the male into custody, we recovered his rifle and another firearm.
50 spent shell casings recovered at the scene, but officers say they have not yet identified a motive or a connection between the suspect and the victims. In Fort Worth, Texas, investigators also piecing together what led to this shooting after Como Fest, an annual July 4th celebration.
No idea at this point. We don't know if this is domestic related, if it's gang related. It's too early to tell at this point.
Investigators say they found 11 shooting victims in a parking lot, one of them a juvenile. At least 3 of the victims have been pronounced dead. The recent spate of gun violence putting officers on alert as people gather for Independence Day celebrations across the country. And to be clear, law enforcement agencies say they have not seen any specific or credible threats to 4th of July events, but they are always on alert for bad actors when it comes to high-profile events and mass gatherings. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
A federal judge is blocking a Florida election law that would set limits on voter registration in the state. The bill would have blocked non-citizens from voting, including those who have permanent legal residency in the U.S. The chief U.S. district judge for Florida says, quote, while Florida has a right to change its electoral system, the specific law violates the U.S. Constitution, end quote.
And sticking with the courts, just days after the Supreme Court restricted the use of race as a factor in college admissions, 3 Black and Latino groups filing a federal civil rights lawsuit against Harvard. The group says Harvard's practice of giving preferential treatment to applicants with family ties or wealthy donors is discriminatory. The lawsuit claims 70% of so-called legacy applicants are white, and they receive a substantial boost because of their status. A spokesperson for Harvard says the university will not comment on this lawsuit.
If the complaint against Harvard is successful, it's likely that other institutions will have to drop the practice too.
One of the things that Harvard can do to make that even better is to eliminate any legacy programs where they have preferential treatment for legacy kids.
A recent study found that For one Harvard class, 70% of legacy students were white, and being a legacy student made an applicant roughly 6 times more likely to be admitted. All right, flying cars could be taking off a lot sooner than we thought. We have a look at what these vehicles might be able to do in the air and on the roads. Welcome back. So going through the FAA approvals yesterday, this one really caught my eye. They certified a testing for a vehicle that a California startup is calling a flying car. It is the first fully electric vehicle to get U.S. government approval that, get this, can both fly and travel on the roads. It has vertical takeoff and landing capabilities. It's going to be able to carry 2 people. You see it on your screen right now, obviously. That is not what it looks like in real life. That's just a diagram. So its range will be about 200 miles on the road, 110 miles in the air. The company will be selling each vehicle for $300,000, with the first delivery projected for the end of 2025. Only allowed to go about 25 miles per hour on the road. Still needs National Highway Traffic Safety Administration approval. So, guys, I ask you, would you feel comfortable taking a flying car in the airs like it's, Back to the Future 2?
Probably not.
No? I don't know.
If it meant I got around all this traffic we got going on, I might be okay with it.
Okay. Yeah. Justin, you know what? You and I will do a live shot in it.
Okay.
Deal.
I'm down. We'll try it out. Not much traffic today, by the way. The roads are actually pretty empty. It is a holiday after all. 89 so far today, 78 the low this morning. The average is 94. We'll actually be pretty close to the average today, maybe a little bit above it, but the record, we won't get there. That was set back in 2009, 103. There are some triple digits, though, in our future. We'll look at the weekend forecast coming up.
Welcome back. So, Tiff, you were out and about this morning.
Right.
Did the clouds save you from the heat?
Yes. That energy, all the smiles saved me from the heat because it was so much fun at Shirts, and it's going to continue. The celebration continues all day long.
All right. So the big question, Justin Horn, is the weather going to put any damper on any of our local celebrations?
I don't think so. I can't completely guarantee it.
No pressure.
We're not going to get a random shower that pops up, but the chances of that are really pretty low. And you think about July 4th in the past, it has been really hot and sunny. Today is not that. We're getting the cloud covers. That's helping a little bit. Now, as we shoot off our fireworks and all that fun stuff tonight, keep in mind things are rather dry. We'll look at the drought monitor, and we know that it hasn't been great up there in the hill country. We're still under an exceptional drought from Kerrville to Comfort down to Fair Oaks Ranch here in San Antonio. It's been fairly dry after a good May and early June. Now, as far as outdoor burn bans go, these are all issued by the counties, and I try to go through county by county and see which ones were still in place. I saw that Kinney and Dimmitt and Goliad counties still have some burn bans in place, but for the most part, much of our area is burn ban free. That doesn't mean we don't need to be careful, though. Not trying to be preachy here or anything like that. Just know that it is dry out there. And we're not expecting a ton of rain today. There is an outside chance that a shower or two could pop up. We look at the satellite picture here. A lot of cloud cover. And I think it's going to be a while longer before these clouds break up a little bit more. And we're noticing, if you look right there, there's a little bit of a swirl, a little area, a small area of low pressure that's working through. Now, this is not kicking off showers, but it is worth noting. It could kick off maybe a shower or two east of San Antonio as it continues on that track. We look at the bigger picture here across the country, and there are some showers and storms up across the north. We're noticing a few showers, especially east of San Antonio with the sea breeze, and we'll see what that sea breeze does as it moves a little further inland this afternoon, and then more scattered stuff off to the east. As far as airport delays go, not noticing any now. We had some earlier out west. If there's going to be any issues as far as travel goes today, it's going to be up here across the plains where there is a threat for severe weather well to our north. Right now, 88 degrees here in San Antonio. Dew point is at 71. Heat index is at 94. And I mentioned some breezy winds today. We're noticing some gusts close to 24 miles per hour there in Corpus Christi. Not a lot of gusty winds here in San Antonio right now, but I do think we could get some gusts anywhere from 15 to maybe 20 miles per hour. Nothing too strong, but the winds will kick in out of the southeast. What about rain chances? Now, we noticed we've got some showers east of San Antonio at this hour. As we look towards 5 o'clock, some more spotty showers are possible. And even 8, 9 o'clock when we've got fireworks going here, there could be a shower or two that pops up. Again, I think the odds are low, but we do need to mention it. And if something should pop up, your KSAT weather app will be there to let you know. We'll let you know if something does show up on radar. Meantime, tomorrow we'll get some more showers south and east of San Antonio. Another day where we could see some pop-up activity even here in town towards dinner time, and probably again on Wednesday or Thursday, I should say, as well, before rain chances really start to go away. So the forecast today, just a 10% chance rain. Will be up around 96 for a high, and look for temperatures in the 80s tonight. And the extended forecast, 96 tomorrow, 95 Thursday, and then triple digits return for the weekend as rain chances go away.
All right, Justin Horn, thank you so much. We're going to get back to that late-breaking news at Calaveras Lake Park. We've learned a man out with a group fishing fell overboard. 3 agencies are now out on the lake trying to find the man. Jonathan Cotto is live at the scene with an update from the Bexar County Sheriff.
That's right, Tiffany. And some of those agencies include the San Antonio Police Department, the San Antonio Fire Department, and of course the Bexar County Sheriff's Marine Unit that has about 3 watercraft right now on Lake Calaveras. Now, they just confirmed that the gentleman who fell overboard is a man in his 30s. He was joined by 2 others as well in their 30s. They were out on a fishing trip around 8:30 this morning when one of them fell overboard. One of the friends tried to rescue the friend, but those efforts were unsuccessful. Now, Javier Salazar, the sheriff, is letting us know that they are currently working on getting a dive team here to Lake Calaveras to assist in those search efforts. But right now, the expected time of that dive team is unknown. Again, this is a case that continues to be under investigation. Again, dive teams are expected to arrive here at the lake, and we'll have more information available. Tiffany, Max.
Thank you, Jonathan, for that update. We'll have more on KSAT.com. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Summer movies this month, kicking off with the road trip comedy Joyride. A group of friends heading to China to find one of their birth mothers. The trip begins this Friday, and of course, fan favorite, Tom Cruise back in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. That means there's going to be a Part 2. The 7th movie in the series explodes into theaters July 12th. And then here we go. Barbie and Ken and all of their friends. Have you seen the Pink House?
Yes.
It's crazy. They're ready for their close-ups. The movie based on the iconic toy brand, July 21st, and then going head-to-head with Barbie. This is one I want to see. Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan's look at the man behind the atomic bomb that drops in the theaters July 21st, as well as Disney's Haunted Mansion. I just heard the preview on my Spotify this morning. That's creeping into theaters July 28th.
And while we're on the topic of movies, if you remember the Chronicles of Narnia, then you're in for a treat. Netflix appears to be asking Greta Gerwig to direct at least 2 films in its upcoming Narnia franchise. Gerwig is the director of the upcoming Barbie movie, and she already has a Best Director nomination for Lady Bird. A Narnia film versions date back to at least the 70s, and Netflix now has the rights to the stories. And here's a look at the info for Leon Valley's 4th of July celebration. They will have food trucks and more at Raymond Rimkus Park from 6:30 to 9:30 tonight, and the parade will begin around 7 o'clock. And the Spasmatics will be performing after the fireworks show to wrap up the evening.
And we have some big breaking news. The hot dog contest is back at Coney Island. Obviously a big part of 4th of July. Also celebrations here in San Antonio. Scan the QR code for info on all of the awesome celebrations and fireworks happening in and around our community. It'll take you right to KSAT.com. Everything you need to know. And I'm sure our friends at 4th of July, our friends on SA Live, they have been ready for 4th of July.
Let's check them out.
And a very happy 4th of July, everyone. I love 4th of July.
It's a great time of the year, right? Barbecue, all the fun. And today we are sharing with you what you can do. Maybe you have some last minute plans that canceled on you. Well, we've got you covered with what's happening around town.
Yes, indeed. Morgan's Wonderland. Hey, we've got a sneak peek at their Salute to Heroes event that is happening right now. Lots of fun going on there.
Also, hope you're hungry. Davila's Barbecue shares an easy recipe with burnt-in wins that you can make at home.
All right, Maverick Cocktails. Have you been there? It's right down there in that old bank building down on Broadway. They are making some really tasty 4th of July cocktails with all of the libations that they distill right there.
Yes, I love all the history there. Also, so how about some crafting today? We have some easy Independence Day inspired DIY projects that you can do with the whole family.
And Stephanie Pena-Frost, our good friend, is here, and she's got some great ways to really spice up your 4th of July barbecue with some different spices and seasonings that are all locally made. They're really tasty, and different ways to use them as well.
And if you want to cool off, how about Paletas Dinos? They're showing us some of their new flavors. If you love pickle, you're going to love this.
That was very tasty.
Yes,
I usually like
delicious.
just pickles, but this pickled paleta, say it 3 times fast, was good. And to round things up, we got a great little bit of new music from Austin Gilman.
That and more coming up on SA Live.